Hey guys, as an automotive journalist, there's one car that you have to love and own. And as you know, we buy used cars, classic used cars, and buy and then review them. And today I just bought this, the 2010 Mazda Miata NC2. And I bought it from Brian. Thank you very much, Brian.
You're welcome.
We just did the paperwork. I just came from the bank. And you know, there's a saying, right? They say it's cheaper to buy the best car that you can afford as opposed to buying the cheapest car that you can afford.
Yes.
And I'm just so happy because you've taken really good care of this car. Can you tell me about how long have you had it and how many miles it has?
I've had it for 9 years.
Yeah.
Bought it July of 2014, put about 27,000 miles on it, which is about what the first owner did. For me, it was all just a summer car, top down. I haven't had the top up driving it more than 20 miles in all those years. It just is a wonderful car.
And you've taken incredibly good care. I mean, the paint is wonderful. You replaced the top on it. It looks brand new.
Always been a garage car for me.
You've got 2 sets of tires, 2 sets of wheels. And what makes me super happy is that this is the best car that we could afford. And the reason, of course, I love the NC is because I fit in it.
Yes, it's the bigger of the bunch, and it gives me lots of room.
So in this video, we're going to hand the keys over to Tommy, who has never seen it, and he's going to go drive it and get his full impression. Are you sad?
A little.
Yeah?
A little. I
Well-
get attached to things I like.
Well, I'm very happy. So let's give the car to Tommy, and yeah, let's see what Tommy thinks of it.
All right, everybody. So my dad just purchased this car, and he kind of left me in the dark about what he bought. And it appears he bought a Mazda Miata, but not just any Miata, a purple Miata. Not the most manly of decisions I think he's ever made, but it is a very cool car, and let's see if he did a good job. So first of all, this is the 3rd generation of Mazda Miata. It went NA, that was the pop-up headlight one, then it went NB, NC, that's this generation, and then ND is the current model. And the NC generation is actually the largest generation. It's a couple inches longer than even the current model, and it came from the bubbly era of Mazda. So everything is very swoopy and very curved. The headlights, very swoopy. It's got a smiley face on the front of it, and it's a pretty attractive looking car. This one is the top spec. I believe it's a Grand Touring trim is what they call them. So it's got some cool features here and there. Now, officially the color is a dark blue, but in some lights it definitely comes across a little bit purpley. It has the low front splitter here. It's got a few rock chips here and there, but that's very common for Colorado. It actually came with 2 sets of wheels, so this is the original set of wheels rolling on these Michelin tires, and these appear to be 17-inch wheels, 205s in the front, so a very narrow actual tire design. And then of course you got the side skirts. Now this is the NC2 technically. They facelifted the Miata partway through the production run. It has a new soft top on it, and I really do like the combo of the tan soft top and the dark blue exterior. It's a pretty cool look. The only mod on it is this bright chrome fuel filler. And then coming around to the rear, bubbly round taillights with dual exhaust, one on each side of the car. But from a condition standpoint, I think it looks really nice, and that's because the mileage is super low. Do you want to hop in, Cole? Now, they did actually build this Miata in both soft top and hard top configurations. This one is the soft top. It's a super simple process. Push the lever in, and you can actually lift up the top, although I would recommend putting the windows down first. Now, being the Grand Touring, we have features like keyless entry, which means you don't need to take the key out of your pocket to get in. And then we have this funny, early to mid 2000s solution for keyless start, where you have this little toggle that you turn. And this car has just 53,000 miles on it, so it's going on 13 years old, 53,000 miles. And on the inside, that kind of bubbly motif continues with this round radio here, these circular vents. And then, of course, if you look at the actual dash layout, you've got this brushed panel, which is once again round. But for taller drivers, it's a little bit of a pickle with the headroom. Definitely maxed out on the headroom there. And that's just kind of the deal. Now, I could scoot my seat a little bit farther forward, recline a little bit, but then you got kind of a gangster lean position. I do like these tan seats, bucket seats, of course, leather bucket seats in this Grand Touring. Not a ton of adjustability on the seats themselves. It looks like we have recline, height adjustment, and then forward and back, but I don't think there's any lumbar adjustment. Cup holders. The NC Miata had much better cup holders than the new ND. You can see them there in the doors. Cole, see that? 2 of them, one for the driver, one for the passenger. And then this car came in both manual transmissions and automatic transmissions. This one, of course, is a 6-speed manual, which is how you want your Miata. Huge steering wheel for the size of the cabin, really large steering wheel, fully analog gauges. The gauges look really quite cool. So you've got a fuel, tach, temperature, speedometer, and then the temperature gauge there on the right. And then, of course, we have features like Bose sound system, Sirius XM radio, and then heated seats as well. So this thing was pretty well fully loaded. If you want to put your seatbelt on, Cole, I can take the camera for a sec. We can see if there's any other things we need to talk about on the inside here from features. Cruise control, manual headlights, very basic design here, but let's take it around the block and see if my dad got a winner from a driving standpoint. So low miles, it's got a full service history. I think we are the third owners. The big deal with these cars is you want to find ones that are, well maintained, not super modified. A lot of people modified these to within an inch of their life. I am noticing that Brian has actually left us with a full tank of fuel, which is really nice of him. Not a lot of sellers actually end up doing that. He seems to be a really stand-up guy. Clutch feels like it could use a little bit of love. The grab point is right at the bottom of the travel, but maybe that's just how NC Miatas are. I actually haven't driven a manual NC. When this car was new, right when I got my license, I drove an auto NC, but never a manual. This has got a 4-cylinder inline-4 longitudinally mounted engine with right around 164 horsepower, 140 pound-feet of torque. And then in the facelift of the NC, they changed around the engine a little bit, and they actually increased the red line to over 7,000 RPM, so really high red line. But I think after this Fiesta, we can merge out into traffic. Yeah, it seems to do pretty well. Yeah, not a lot of power. That's full throttle. It does build a little bit in the higher RPMs. You get a little bit more oomph. The issue is that we live up here in Colorado, and at a mile above sea level, not a huge amount of push in these naturally aspirated engines, especially small displacement. This car has a sport package too, so it's got upgraded shock absorbers. I think from Bilstein, if I remember right, it's got the limited slip rear differential, which is really, really nice. And it's got some other goodies in that realm. Here, we'll see how the turning radius. Do a full circle here. I think it feels pretty good. These cars are pretty softly sprung to begin with. I know this car's never had a brake job, so at 54,000 miles, it's probably about time we give it some brakes. People expect to drive these Miatas and kind of think that they're really tight and handle super flat, but Miatas are known for having a little bit of roll. That's some of their fun. Got a pretty squeaky seat. Definitely pretty squeaky, but we'll give it all the beans. Up to red line. Yeah, it is not super quick. I wouldn't call it super quick, but the steering feels really good, very direct. This is from the era, of course, when cars still had hydraulic power steering, and you definitely feel that in this little NC Miata. Engine seems to run pretty well, no warning lights, no check engine lights, nothing like that. I think it's a pretty good little car. Now, my dad did pay a lot for it. The guy had it listed for $15,000 with the extra wheels and tires. My dad actually picked it up for $14,000, so just slightly off of what he was asking. So low owner car, but a lot of money for an NC Miata. But his philosophy was, because he was looking at another one, buy the best one you can afford, buy one that's been, well maintained and has had low service or low owners, and then you're going to end up with a much better car. So I think it was a good idea to spend a little more, even if maybe we overpaid a little bit for a fun car that we know is going to last well and is stock, versus paying a small amount and ending up with a basket case. All right. Let's close this up.
All right, Tommy, let me show you what else we got.
Oh yeah.
Check this out.
Yeah, so these are the wheels I mentioned. They are actual MX-5 wheels, and they say MX-5 there, but I think it's a factory Mazda wheel. I'm not sure off which car, but brand new summer tires, so it's a nice little deal.
Yeah, so 14,000, are you happy?
Yeah, I think it's a pretty good car.
Yeah? Pretty good. I think it's darn good.
Well, it's a little purple.
It's not purple.
It's a little bit. That's the only thing I don't like about it.
You know what the name of the color is?
Slightly purple.
No, it's mica.
Oh, okay.
It's got our last name on it, so come on. Anyway, we're going to be doing a bunch of videos with it, hopefully doing a little bit of driving around the state. And I'm super excited. Any day you buy a new used car is a great day, and it's not purple.
It's a little purple.
Oh.
Just a little purple. But guys, I think it's a fun car. It's going to be a great time on the channel. We'll do some cool drag races and some cool handling tests with it. And anything you want to see, be sure to leave us a comment.
Wait till you see it in the bright sunlight.
Yeah, but it's not sunny all the time, is it? It's like this a lot of the time, and like this, it's just a little purple.
It's got our last name. We had to have it.
All right. Well,
All right.
guys, we'll see you on the next one.
Ciao.